right, everybody, welcome to After Church Tea Time. My name is Shaleia, and with me I have Paco and Deb. I have Kelly and Nikki to discuss today's sermon on divine maturity, finding divine maturity within. And so, yeah, great sermon today. Really awesome topic, really pertinent and important foundational stuff for all of us. And so, who would like to share first?
Thank you, Saraya, for introducing us all. And I would like to start because I really enjoyed making the sermon, and I felt a lot of gratitude being able to share this healing, because this is one of the things since I had my coming out as a trans man, I desire most, becoming a man, a mature man. And healing with the teachings of union helped me to realize, oh, this is a process. I cannot just come out as a transgender and as a trans man and be then a mature man. I have to go to these places where I didn't allow myself to feel my true feelings and respect myself there, and allow all the feelings to really, really, really come to the surface. This angry little child inside of myself as a transgender didn't allow myself to feel my true feelings most of the time, and to take care of him and to be with him and to allow him to be however he is in the moment. And so I was really happy that God guided us to share this healing with you all. And I'm very happy to be with you all here in this discussion and talk about it.
Yeah, because in truth, like when you came out as a trans man, you couldn't like overcompensate for almost 20, 30 years of not living your true self, because in truth you were kind of like already living as a boy as when you were a little kid, but then you kind of like stopped that process.
Yeah.
And of course you didn't allow that part of you to mature. So you have to let it like have the space in the room to also get clear like how he likes to be as a boy, as a teenage, and as a grown man. And even though I didn't have quite that experience growing up, I did have like this emotional setback in my maturing, because I was programmed or asked from a very, very young age to become the parent in my household, even though I was a child. And that's a burden that no child should be put on their shoulders. And of course, that also kind of like creates this cut, or like that breaking point thing, to allow yourself to keep exploring who you are as a person and keep growing up and keep maturing,
becoming a woman.
So in certain areas I'm kind of like already a mature woman, but in many others I was very surprised as we kept going deeper in our healing journey as a couple, to find that there were like many places where I still have like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old that is crying for like attention, or even a baby. Like I come from this generation of, the manual says that when the baby cries, you have to let them cry until they fall asleep. Like you don't cradle them that much, you don't get like that much like physical contact. And meanwhile, like, dude, I'm a baby. I cannot make what the freaking is going on in the world. Like somebody has to come and explain it. And I find that it's
Love you.
perfect. Yeah, and it's tying perfectly with something that Shaleia was sharing in today's live class with them, about how a baby needs to first receive from the parents to feel that inner well, until they come to this point where they can start feeling it themselves. And of course, if you're having parents who do not know how to do this, or are unwilling to do this because they don't know how to do it for themselves, nobody taught them, and this goes like generations prior, so it was passed on, then it's highly likable that you are going to be growing up in such an environment as well. And this is going to hinder your ability to become a mature person. So making this sermon is kind of like open the door to share. Like I feel like we have a lot of material on this topic, so I'm looking forward to expanding on the next couple of sermons. But yeah, it was perfect for us, and I really absolutely like enjoyed sharing this piece with everyone.
You know, as you're sharing that, I think about TFAS, where Jeff and Shaleia talk about with your twin flame, you like heal your younger self, you know, like you kind of go through the different periods of your life. And it sounds like that's really what you guys are experiencing. It's almost like you're getting to kind of get a do-over and like reprocess all the things, well, not reprocess, but process really for the first time, the things that you weren't able to do when you were younger. And, you know, that's really what we're all doing. We're all unpacking all that old stuff and finally letting it come up and be released. And so, yeah, it's really it's important. And love too that, you know, you guys are focusing a lot on, you know, and in the sermon you shared this too, like really validating yourself. Because a lot of times we experience like dismissal, like especially emotionally with the way that things are in the world. Like most of us were not raised with a lot of emotional connection or support, not really understanding what to do with our feelings. And so, yeah, like really giving that to yourself now, I feel like this is so important for all of us. I know for me, it's been a big deal to like validate younger versions of myself, be like, yeah, like I had every right to be upset about that. Yeah, like, you know, it's reasonable. And so having a lot of compassion for ourselves.
I love that. I really enjoyed the sermon. As always, all the sermons are very on point with what I go through, and I believe also the collective. Um, I was actually like literally healing about maturity and spiritual maturity and having like this kind of what you, Deb, was talking about, like functionality and high functionality versus true maturity. And I was like, I just hit like a kind of like a point where I couldn't just avoid in a way my inner child in the way that I was before, because I was like, I'm doing everything right, I'm responsible with my own stuff in the functionality aspect. And I was like, well, what's missing? And then like I was literally like feeling this place where I was lacking, and I was lacking that emotional connection and emotional nurturing. And when I watched the sermon, I was like, wow, yeah, this is actually perfect. Because we do need to feel our own well inside to be able like to give and to grow. And also what I was looking into my consciousness, I was looking that I was like doing stuff, but I was not fulfilled, and I was like not feeling good about it. Like I was doing it because, oh, this is the right way to do it, and this is like what Paco was saying also, like about fake maturity. But oh, this is the right way and that's maturity, but that's not actually maturity because it doesn't come from peace. And so like this sermon like really helped me to just kind of like take a step back and really like give myself that space and like time and really nurture myself and my inner child. I also come from like a family that didn't like have the ability to give me that maturity, like to help me understand why things work in a certain way, or like help me develop my own abstract thinking. As Dad was sharing, I I had like to develop it myself, but that places that were lacking, I'm just like opening like kind of like a can of a lot of upsets and anger, and it's good, like it's very good. I'm very grateful.
I love that. I think it's so important to feel the difference between that functionality and actually, not just be checking the boxes, like I'm doing this because I know this is how to nurture and support myself, but like genuinely, like I really love myself and I really want to honor myself. It's not about the thing, it's about like what's underneath it and really nurturing that, your soul, really, so I love that. And we had a question too. So this says how to deal with colleagues at work who aren't spiritually matured to match my vibe and still have to keep a relationship with this colleague. Can anyone share on that?
I feel like that's an amazing and great question. And one of the key things that we've learned through the teachings of union is to honor and respect where everyone is at. Everyone is in their journeys, whether they know it or not. But especially when they are not actively saying that they are, it's okay to honor that that's not where they are at. And just setting that healthy boundary of, okay, this is what I can talk about with them. And this is something that Jeff was also sharing in a couple of TIFAS classes, is really taking the pulse of the relationship and really honor it where it's at. There's people that you're gonna be able to share your life about, people that you're gonna be able to share about your spiritual side, and people who that you will only be talking about the weather. Yeah, exactly. And that's okay. Not everyone has to be at the same level as you. You can keep it professional and just honor where they are at. And if they are not open, that's okay. There's no amount of shoving anything down anyone's throat did any good to nor you or the people around you. So I hope that this answers the question.
And you will feel better also in the relationship, as this is still where you are in this workplace.
Yeah.
And you will feel better talking about the weather. It's okay.
Yeah, because
that's fine. You don't need to
yourself.
speak about more. This person feels okay, can respect the boundary, and you will feel also better.
Yeah, I will honor everyone in the equation, so it's a win-win.
Yeah, I think about too something Jeff and Shaleia talked about earlier today was really also listening to God through everything in life. Like God speaks to you through kind of unexpected things. And even though it may appear that, people are different, and obviously people are, unique, but at the end of the day, we attract experiences for a reason. And every person in our lives has a gift to give us one way or the other. It's always loving. And I feel like that's too, like where the mirror exercise is really powerful in situations like this, is like just really checking in with how you feel about what appears to be a conflict or a difference, or if you feel like there's like trouble communicating with this person, whatever it might be. It's also an opportunity in that sense. It's coming up in your awareness for a reason. So I recommend taking some time and really feeling your feelings about it, and kind of, receive this person as a teacher in a way spiritually to help you. And yeah, we just really take care of how we feel, and yeah, really honoring them. Like I love what Paco and Deb said, that, you really want to have the boundaries that you need, and, you have power in the situation. Good. So, any other thoughts on the sermon? Anything else that stood out to you guys that you wanted to share a bit about? I know that there was a lot of different subjects throughout. I feel like really it's a good opportunity for all of us to check in with ourselves and how we feel about where we're at on our journey as well. One of the things that Paco and Deb talked about throughout the sermon was like the journey of evolution, and like really being at peace with where you're at on the journey, and letting go of expectations of where you think you should be, like not trying to like, kind of like spiritually bypass, what's in front of us and what we're healing and what we need emotionally. And so I know that stood out for me. It was like really just appreciating where I'm at. We've all got areas where we're strong in, and where maybe we're feeling more maturity, and areas where we don't feel as mature. Maybe we feel like very childish and very immature, and that's okay. So yeah, like just a reminder, I feel, to like really accept ourselves where we are on our journey.
I feel this is wonderful what you said, Soraya, because I experienced, when I did it that way, miracles. Kind of after I went through something, I took time with my inner boy. We spoke together about it. We felt our feelings. We allowed our inner children to be. And then a situation happens again at work, or in the past. I was shaky, and one of my clients got really nasty. And oh my God, that really triggered me. And then after a month of inner healing, or 2 months of inner healing, and really taking care of my inner child and helping myself and also through with my coach and with the teachings and with my twin flame together. I'm in the same situation with really a nasty client again in my workplace. And I'm not shaky anymore. I'm cool. I'm the coolest. And I think to myself, how cool is that? And I didn't do anything else than feeling my feelings and respecting my inner boy and I just loved him. And I did that straight 2 months. And I just loved him and I respected where I'm at. And then I'm in a situation and I feel safe. Even the person in front of me is freaking out and I'm just sitting there and I am cool. I am cool with the situation. I can hold my peace. And I say to God, oh my God, thank you. That feels so good. I feel so safe this way in being around people. I feel so safe being my true self. I can just be. Even someone else is losing their peace, I don't take it personal. It's just part of my job. Okay. And another time there is such a situation, then I feel triggered again. And I can say to myself, okay, I can go deeper. I can go deeper here and support myself more. This is what Shaleia meant, that even through a person that is not cool with you.
Someone that you're not resonating with, they can
you can still
communicate.
learn something in the situation.
Exactly. I remember Jeff was in the classes that we had a couple of years ago, before we transcended into the live class we are having with them now. Jeff was helping me see how my grandma, who I was already starting to not resonate or not speak the same language anymore. And Jeff was like, yeah, but what was your grandma really communicating behind all the upsets, behind all the different mentalities and the generational stuff and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, she's just showing you like it's safe to receive your man, because I was working towards revealing my twin flame at that time and really coming closer into manifesting my union in the physical. And the same here, like I had, when we started off in our relationship together, when we came together, I had an extremely explosive reactions. The more we started to work on this, we started to realize that I have an extremely angry inner child. And the more we've been able to acknowledge that, the easier it is to give her space, and we no longer have that explosive confrontations that we were having. I still can get like extremely triggered because I'm constantly going to these places and healing, and like being made responsible for things that are not mine, because I really grew up in a highly dysfunctional family dynamic. And so like, of course, that leaves a little bit of a scar that we need to, again, like the teaching says, we need to go back to the place that hurt us, but this time with love. And so like you were saying, Shaleia, we kind of like have to walk all the way back and kind of like not recreating, but reliving and kind of like giving ourselves all that stuff, and it's getting way better. And I feel like this is when a lot of new people come to these teachings and they give it a try and they allow themselves to explore it and end up embracing it, it's gonna make so many wonders in having such beautiful relationships, because now I know that I can lose my shit, I can lose my temper, and he will hold space for me. He's not gonna go anywhere. And that makes me feel like I can trust and be safe in that environment. I was like, okay, and this is new. Okay. And I was like, oh my God. And then I can work through it. And then it's done. Okay, what's the next thing? That piece is solved.
Enjoying life.
And yeah, exactly. And enjoying a lot of things. One of the wonderful results of all this inner healing that we've been doing in recent months in regards to being mature and kind of like allowing ourselves to be where we are at, has been going back to allowing myself to enjoy my artistic expression and feeling safe that nobody is gonna come and create a drama, and then it's gonna ask me to shove my feelings down my throat and just no. You have to be nice to your sister. No. Don't cry. No, don't cry. No. I'm entitled to have these feelings, like you were saying. You know, like, okay, it's okay that I feel this. It's okay that I find this highly inappropriate. Like, come on. And that allows you to like really feel lighter as you go there, love yourself, and then release all these past experiences. It's really a very wonderful thing to see unfold.
I
Yeah.
love, oh, sorry, go ahead, Nikki.
Okay. I just wanted to say thank you for sharing and also for mentioning this thing about boundary, because you also shared this in the sermon, Deb, and it was about not letting a child develop boundaries. It's actually cruel, because it is, because that child, once it grows up, it will be very confused, because they will feel, and I'm talking about personal experience, when my parents would say, oh no, you cannot say no, you cannot, you have to accept this, you have to behave this way, even though that was against my own feelings, that immediately made me doubt myself, even though I was actually right to have that natural reaction even as a child, but it was not hugged in a way, it was not accepted. And this translated in adulthood is like, oh, you can let people step on you, oh, you can let people disrespect you, you can let people take from you, you have to be nice and that's okay, and you shouldn't doubt what the other is doing. And that this is something that I've been healing a lot. And that part where you said that, oh, it's actually cruel, I was like, yeah, and that's what I'm doing to myself, actually, that I'm not actually putting boundaries in general. And I feel like that's very related to maturity and like peace, like being peaceful, because if you don't have boundaries, then you don't have peace. And like then you leak your energy and your foundation just goes into sand, and it doesn't have like the right containers to hold itself and its shape, and yeah, like just be. So yeah, I really like that, because I do resonate a lot.
And I loved, Deb, I loved what you shared about how, gosh, I think I lost it. I think it's when, oh, it's that awareness. It's like having that awareness that, that your boundary, well, I just lost it. I apologize. So what I love about the teachings of union is that you'll always be going deeper in healing, and you'll always be learning to open up places that you might have had fear or been afraid to feel. So like, so it's, I feel like it's very, oh, this is what I was talking about. So it's, you're saying how that your subconscious will, sometimes it'll change your perception of how things actually are. And I think that goes to what you were saying, Nikki, too, about how when you're not allowed to feel or not allowed, then it really makes you question your perception. And so it's really important to just keep going in your healing, like Paco was able to do, and then you can get to a place of peace. And so then you can really continue to go deeper and deeper in your healing until eventually it won't be comfortable anymore to bypass things that you were willing to bypass earlier, because the relationship will just be so uncomfortable, even if you're not having conflict within the relationship at the moment, because you've like swept things under the rug for so long. Eventually your perception will change, and your honor and respect for yourself will get to such a high degree that you're like, oh, this is so uncomfortable, I have to address it. Otherwise you're just really dishonoring yourself. And that's how I feel you're able to continue to grow and heal deeper with the mirror exercise and in your relationships. And creating that safety, I find really helps me recognize that, well, I'm safe to really feel, and all the relationships that are truly built from a loving place will remain. And I don't have to control the situations. I can just really create that space and allow people to either align to love, or maybe they need more time or something like that. But just really learning to get, I think just getting that inner child nourished with so much love from source, from God, that like nothing can shake that respect inside. And then even our family relationships can heal, can give it space to heal, and not be afraid that we're going to lose love, because our love doesn't come from our family or our twin flame. It really comes from God. So
Yeah, really just listening to all of you guys, what I'm really feeling and seeing is that it's about how we love. And that's what really allows maturity. It's about loving well and being the kind of person who's showing up for ourselves so consistently that we create the safety we need, that we're being attentive to ourselves so we can feel that security that we need. We're really learning to kind of be the parent, like that parental type love, like offering that to ourselves from God, and letting that heal us and loving well, which is really what this teaching and all Ascension paths are ultimately about. And it's about the quality of the love that we give ourselves. I've been healing a lot around attachment stuff, like realizing places where I don't have that secure attachment. And that has been also a theme of like really creating that safe space for my inner child where I can build trust with myself. And it seems like that's really what we're all talking about, is in different ways showing up for ourselves in the ways that maybe we didn't receive when we were young, so that we can, really give ourselves, finish all that unfinished business. And thankfully with the teachings of union, we learn how, because sometimes we don't have a concept for like, what does it mean to love somebody? Like I didn't know before this work. I thought I knew, but I didn't. And so it's so great to be able to come together and have this thing in common all the time, where we're all learning together what it means to love. And, we have our gurus teaching us, like we have a template, we have that discipline too around us, where we're all sharpening each other, and we're refining and getting to know what this means. And yeah, loving well. And it works with us on the inside, where we're able to thrive and grow when we're loved well. And it also helps us, heal and extend healing to others. And so, such a worthwhile thing to master, for sure. Good. So, how are you guys feeling? Are you feeling pretty complete? Is there anything else you guys would like to share? No? Guess we're feeling, oh,
No, I just want to say I feel complete. I feel like you had like the kind of like a concluding piece,
oh,
kind
okay.
of like yeah, just like enveloped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a good time to feel in and to really take the time to nurture yourself. All who are listening, watching, wherever you are, know that you're worth it. You deserve that care and that support, and that's really the way forward. Sometimes it can be counterintuitive, and we're like, but no, I need to go make my life better. But actually, this foundational stuff is what makes life better. As Paco and Deb were saying earlier, like taking the time for this is what actually changes things. And then you actually are not bothered by the problem in the first place. So, it's worth going in instead of trying to go out. And it's yeah, taking the time to really give ourselves what we need. Can't go wrong. Love is always a good thing. Can't have too much of it. So good. Thank you guys, all of you, for the discussion. Thank you, Paco and Deb, for the beautiful sermon. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. All right.